Today, we're going to talk about a topic that everyone needs to learn: suicide prevention.
Let's get the facts.
F. Feelings I may experience, such as
hopelessness, extreme sadness and loneliness, and hating him or herself.
A. For actions they may exhibit,
Drug or alcohol abuse, getting into fights, talking or writing about death, recklessness.
Let's talk about C, the change in people's personalities.
Changes in pattern of sleep schedule, eating habits, and losing interest in other things.
So do you know what the T stands for in the FACTS acronym?
I don't actually.
Okay, well, it stands for threats. Things like, how long will it take to bleed out? Things like cutting yourself, stashing pills, taking pills, things like that. They're threats to you, yourself, and our community. The S in the FACTS acronym stands for situations, such as getting in trouble at school,
being exposed to death and suicide, and dealing with death and suicide.
Teenage suicide is preventable. Fact.
Talking about suicide will cause someone to attempt suicide. Myth.
If a person really wants to kill themselves, no one has the right to stop them. That's a myth.
The number of suicide attempts in young people has tripled in recent years. Fact.
Among 15 to 24-year-olds, suicide is the third leading cause of death. Fact.
Improvement following a suicidal crisis means that the crisis is over. That's a myth.
Every day in the U.S., about 14 adolescents die at their own hands. Fact.
Once a person is suicidal, they'll be suicidal forever. Myth.
There's a young person committing suicide roughly every 90 minutes in the U.S. Fact.
For most teenagers, the desire to commit suicide starts with depression. Fact.
You never want to argue with someone who is talking about committing suicide. Also, don't think that it's a joke, because it may not be. Think of it that they're telling you the truth. Maybe that's the easiest way for them to tell you. You definitely want to listen to someone. Listen to them intently so that you know how they're feeling, that their feelings matter. When you do have someone in that case, asking them specifically, do you want to commit suicide? Do you wish you were dead?
If you know someone that is planning to commit suicide, you shouldn't leave them alone. However, if there's a weapon involved, put your safety first. Never try to take the weapon away. You need to leave that situation and go get help.
I know it would be hard, but always stay calm and you take action sooner than later. Make sure you get to a trusted adult.
Do not make promises of secrecy, otherwise you'll have to assume the responsibility. Encourage them to get help or dial the crisis hotline with them.
It's okay to not be okay.
When we all know the warning signs and we put a plan in action, we can save lives.
Now that you have the facts, we want you to know that you are not alone. We are all part of your team. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please seek a trusted adult or call the suicide hotline at 988. It could make all the difference.
And remember, you can always access Google Classroom to find healthy coping skills as well as the suicide hotline. And we want you to always remember that we all have a purpose in life.